Thanks for tuning in to Show Me the Nuggets. Eduardo Trinidad here from the team at Digital Triggers. We'll be finishing up on our year-end recap featuring the top takeaways from the second half of 2021. In this episode, we have Justin Smith, CEO and founder of OuterBox, sharing his insights on how to use statistics to drive high-authority links to your website. We also have college student Madeline Weisburn, giving her perspective on how agencies can create attractive internship programs. And finally, Joe's business partner, Rob Warner, breaking down the reasons why he and Joe decided to exit Invisible PPC. Here we go.
Welcome to Show Me the Nuggets, where each week Joe chats with world-class entrepreneurs to find out the key principles, strategies, and processes that lie behind their outstanding achievements. Now, your host, the no-bullshit serial entrepreneur, Joe Troyer.
So before we got started on the show, I was telling you about how we came across an article that you wrote about white hat link building and developing what you call link magnet pages. And one of the big reasons I wanted to get you here on the show today, and one of the things I wanted to focus on and to be honest, kind of pick your brain about. So I'm really curious, like, what are the main strategies that you guys are employing to rank for these obviously uber competitive keywords? You know, SEOs doing SEO, gets pretty competitive.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. I mean, one is obviously you have to have great content. I mean, you still see SEO companies or suggestions where like you bring them a site and all they want to do is link building. And there's some value to link building for sure. But at the end of the day, you still have to have great content first. You have to have a great technical site. I would say you can't really rank a site just from doing technical things right, but you can definitely kill a site from doing technical things wrong. For sure. So you have to make sure that's all buttoned up. But yeah, great content. And then, when we're using this strategy that we're talking about with statistics, it's really building an awesome page that delivers some value. And then it's ranking that page. So it's kind of what comes first, right? You rank the page and then you get more links into the page. Yep. So it's that balance of how do you get that ball rolling a little bit.
Perfect. So when you build a link statistics page, which I'm assuming is like one of your types of link magnet pages, right? Where do you get the statistics from? Is it just aggregation? Is it you guys doing your own statistics? What's worked for you guys?
Honestly, yeah, we kind of did it the cheap way. When we built our first page doing it, it was kind of a test. We never realized that the page that we built would be as big as it is. And it really has helped our domain authority because we're getting a ton of links into it all the time. But yeah, we just aggregated it from different sources, cited some different sources, put it all in one clean document that honestly the page isn't anything crazy. It's got some bullet points and it shows some things. We built a super basic infographic that probably took 20 minutes. And yeah, that was really it. I mean, I think if you have the time and you have the ability to do that research and get your own statistics, I think there's some great value in mixing the two together, blending in some authority sources and your own.
Yeah, it's really interesting. In our space, in the agency marketing world, Bright Local, I think, has done a really good job of doing their own statistics and their own research. One of the only companies I've really seen do it. And if you look at the backlinks and their competitors, it's like there's no wonder they're smashing everybody because everybody's linking to their content over and over and over, and they keep refreshing it every year. So I mean, it's just a wheel that just keeps a flywheel that just keeps spinning.
Yeah, it's definitely important to keep it updated. Once it's working, you can kind of just let it sit there and forget about it. But you'll realize that the links start falling off or the rankings start dropping for that page as well. So, but yeah, the page that we really have had a ton of success on is we build statistics just around mobile online shopping. So how many people are, what percentage of people are buying on mobile devices, that kind of stuff. So if you go to Google and you search probably just something like mobile e-commerce stats, you'll probably see our article right at the top. And so we get tons of everybody from GoDaddy to Forbes to, like DA 90 sites linking to it all day long, just referencing it when they're talking about online sales.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So if you were going to start out again and you had to rank that page, what would you do? Like, would you buy some links to it? How would you get it ranking initially? How would you get that traction?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky when we did it because we already had a high DA site. We've been around for a long time. A lot of the content we write, we can write new articles, get them indexed, and rank on the first page of Google in a matter of an hour.
Gotcha.
So we definitely have that advantage going for us. Now, if you're a brand new website, it might not be the best strategy to use because you got to get the page out there and you got to get some rankings with it. But I guess that's with any new site and any page you build. Sharing it on social media, trying to get some, just some people to link to it. Hey, put it on your Twitter feed for us. Can you share it on Facebook? We always do that within our company. Again, it's nice. We have 80 people that can share something and get a bunch of shares right away. But try to use your network just to share that content piece. And once you get a few going, if you can get it, it's a snowball effect. So yeah, I mean, can you do some guest posting in placements like that? Yeah, I mean, that can't hurt.
So if you guys can't tell, Madeline is super switched on. She's somebody that when I think about you, I think about, man, like I would love to draw talent like you into one of my organizations because I know that you would fuel growth to a whole nother level. And so when I was thinking about running this podcast, I'm like, man, I know the audience would love to find talent like Madeline that is overachieving, doing really well in class, but also in all these other organizations and in these internships. And so I'm super excited to hear from your point of view. What are the things that would make you interested in working inside of a specific marketing company's internship program?
Yeah, I was just having this conversation with my dad because I'm applying to internships for the summer at the moment. And my dad has a sentiment that I have sort of latched onto, especially now. And it's that internships are about, investing in students. So if a business is truly investing in me, they are creating opportunities for me to grow and to learn. And it's an experiential learning process. We talk about how there's all kinds of learners in the world, the audio learners, the visual learners. When it really boils down to is that everybody's an experiential learner. Sure. And when I walk into an internship, I want as many opportunities as possible to be as hands-on as possible. So, I don't want you just telling me about the projects you do. I want you to actually have me working on them and then give me constructive criticism on how I can grow my work and what I'm doing and how it provides value or if it provides value kind of thing. So, when we look at marketing agencies and what they can do for their interns, the hands-on element's really critical, how you grow your customer base, that kind of thing. Sure. Experience.
Yeah. So I think, at the end of the day, I think probably most marketing agencies would be really excited about working with interns because it's free labor, right? But you got to know as well that it's an exchange, right? It's there's a reason that you would be willing to do that, right? And it's because you're going to get the learning experience. So obviously, like you said, you got to be hands-on, you got to give them a good experience. You got to make sure that it's something that I would have the goal that, Madeline, it would be something that you'd be excited about and be so thankful for the opportunity that you're going to go back and tell everybody else at Walsh so that hopefully next semester I get a whole slew of, interns wanting to come and apply.
Yeah. And I'm always really hesitant about like employers who see me as free labor or like cheap labor, right? Because like I know my value to an extent, right? Like I may not have the same level of experience as everybody else on the team, but I'm providing a really youthful perspective on your marketing and what you bring to the table. So that's still value. And, obviously you're not going to pay me the same as anybody else, but I still hope you heed what I bring to the table.
Sure. Yeah, there's got to be value there, obviously.
So now I'm going to take you to the next step. That's the reason we got to know each other eventually. That when did you start? So you started in 2019, some stuff, and then 2020. When did you start realizing that, okay, I'm back into my sweet spot, doing this software, agency business is something, it's great, but I really want to do this more. So when did that start hitting you?
So for me, it came down to a couple of things. I'm very conscious of what I say. What next? Because it sounds like I'm about to be negative towards my agency business, and that's not the case. I am proud of and have enjoyed the business that we built over a long period of time. That said, agency is a messy business. It's got lots of people, lots of people moving parts, and fundamentally, I guess I would describe myself as a creative kind of introvert. That doesn't play well in a people business. You know, you don't get into white labeling a nerdy kind of technical thing because you want lots of people relationships. And it's not that I don't like people relationships. I'm just I find them tiring. I find them hard work. So for me, there's always this element of a business that grows through people. I find quite emotionally tiring to run. I feel like I take a personal responsibility for every single good or bad thing that happens, and that takes a toll over time because it can be tiny little human errors. And you might just find this as well, that when you're leading an organisation, rarely do people bring you the good news. They bring you the brown sticky stuff, they bring you the problems, they bring you the bad things that have happened, and so you can sometimes end up with a sort of a negative worldview because the only client interactions you've had this week are about 5 people who've had a problem. You don't hear the 95 who didn't have a problem, just the 5 who did. And my psyche works very much on progression and forward motion, so dealing with backwards negative stuff I find quite draining. Whereas, and I know that, person X had a bad day that day, they made a mistake, the client was upset, okay, resolved. Whereas I know that if I build a software, the software doesn't have a bad day.
Consistent. If it is something wrong, it'll be wrong every day.
Exactly.
You gotta fix it.
I'll fix that once, that fix that again. That software's not going to have a bad day tomorrow because it's random. So for me, that was one part of it, was that sense of the people relationships can get quite physically, mentally and emotionally demanding for me and tiring. If I was to be more commercial about it, agency businesses have a value when you exit an agency business. And there's a range of profit multiples of an agency business that are relatively small.
Correct. Yeah.
Because they're essentially busy, messy people businesses. Until you get to kind of like about 3 million per year EBIT, which we weren't at, when the revenue, the multiples jump at that point. So people you see doing roll-ups in agencies where you take 5 down together, get 3 million. You go, instead of being at maybe 2 to 4 times EBIT, you're at 7 to 8 times. Get that. A software business has a valuation typically based on revenue, and that can be 5 to 10 times revenue, or 15 times in some cases, or even more. So when I looked at the pure math of where I'm spending my effort, I'm conscious I'm getting a bit 50 soon, and I need to focus my effort on high ROI activities. I said, if I spend another 18 months or 2 years or 3 years of full effort building an agency, the best I can expect, let's say it's 4 times or 5 times my profit. If I spend 18 months building a software, I can expect 10 times my revenue. Okay, purely from that perspective, it makes more sense for me, given that my background is software anyway, to focus on building software for a market that I already know and understand, which is the agency market. It's like, I know who these people are, I know their problems, I will build things at scale that I can solve those problems. So that was the thing for me, and it became to a point where, as I say, it's difficult to ride 2 horses. And I was trying to ride 2 horses, and one was going faster than the other one. And if one's going faster than the other, your legs get very apart very quickly. It's not fun. So I had to make a decision, and that decision was, ultimately to exit the agency.
Thanks for tuning in to Show Me the Nuggets. If you've been enjoying the podcast and find our content helpful, please visit our Apple Podcast page, hit the subscribe button, and leave us a review. Joe and the whole team have been working hard to bring more value to the show. Your feedback will go a long way in helping us make the show better and reach a wider audience.